And based on the data from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, throughout 2021, immigration cases for Indonesian citizens tops the list of cases over the year, reaching 6,312 cases and over 5,270 COVID-19 cases. In the meantime, cases for workmanships and also subordinate ownerships on the ships are placed respectively on the 5th and the 6th place, reaching 3,951 cases and 1,202 cases, respectively. And to get more perspective on what needs to be done by the Indonesian government to lower the number of similar cases in 2022, we will now talk to the Director of Protection for Indonesian Citizens and the Agency of Indonesia's Judha Nugraha, I should say, joining us live via Zoom applications. Mr. Judha, thank you very much for joining us here on Focus today on TVRI World. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Pak Rahmat Idris.
Yeah, as we mentioned in our opening, Mr. Judha, is that the immigration cases tops the list of citizens abroad. What exactly is the main cause of the high number?
Thank you, Pak Rahmat Idris. To answer your question, first of all, allow me to share the context of the protection of Indonesian national offices during the COVID-19 global pandemic. First, this is unprecedented, be it at national level or global level. No one is immune to COVID-19 and no country are ready to cope with the impact of global COVID-19. So the last time we faced the global pandemic was back in 1917 during the Spanish flu. But of course, the magnitude between Spanish flu and global pandemic COVID-19 is very much different because we are now living in a more globalized world. So in terms of cases of Indonesian citizen overseas, we never seen before the spike of the number of cases, more than 100% during 2020 compared to 2019. And second, the impact of COVID-19 is not only limited to health issues, but also related to economic issue, labor issue, and also people's mobility. This provides a big challenge when we are providing protection for our Indonesian national offices. So based on that two contexts, there are two types of cases that faced by Indonesian national the most. First is immigration issue, and second, the COVID-19 issue. So why immigration is so high? This is actually reflect that many Indonesians go overseas without using proper channel. So they are using unsafe migration. Therefore, to ensure safe migration, it is important for us to make sure that all Indonesians, especially Indonesian migrant workers, using proper channel according to the law number 18, 2017, with regard to the protection of Indonesian migrant worker overseas.
Right. You mentioned that the illegal migrants has been one of the main causes faced by our workers and Indonesian citizens abroad. And we also see reports on deaths of Indonesian people during the transportation process of these immigrations. What exactly is the mitigation steps taken, measures taken by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to tackle this issue and to anticipate it to occur in the future? Mr. Judha.
Yeah, there are three types of actually immigration cases faced by Indonesian national. First, not having a valid passport or visas. Second, overstay. And third, violation of the purpose of visa. So I must say that the number of immigration cases, around 6,000 during 2021, is only the tip of the iceberg. I believe that the real number is much higher than that. And what should be done with regard to this immigration case? So as I said earlier, that we need to provide safe corridor for especially labor migration for our national. First, we have to facilitate easier, faster, cheaper, and safer channel of migration. So this is important to encourage our people using proper channel. And second, we have to provide accurate, timely, and comprehensive information in all stages of migration, be it pre-departure, during employment, and after employment. And third, strict law enforcement. We have to send strong signal. We have to send strong message to human trafficker that if they are traffic our people, then they will face severe punishment.
What sort of punishments on the table for the traffickers? You mentioned, Pak Judha, because we need to know that there is actually a stern action taken to those who continues to provide these illegal access, illegal employment to Indonesian abroad.
Yeah. Could you please repeat the question, please?
Yeah. What sort of stern actions taken by the government to human traffickers who up until now still provide the services, the illegal access and illegal employment to Indonesians abroad?
Yeah, actually we have a law number 21, 2017 with regard the combating of human trafficking. So we encourage that all the perpetrators are punished by this law. So we have to send the strong message to this traffic.
Right. Mr. Judha, we also have the data of the high number of deaths of Indonesian citizens in other countries, particularly in Saudi Arabia, that reached 101 deaths. It triggers concern when we hear it over and over again throughout the course of the years in Saudi Arabia. What sort of steps taken by the government to mitigate this problem?
Yeah. Since the beginning of COVID-19 in early 2020 until today, there are 8,013 Indonesian nationals get infected by COVID-19, whereas out of that number, 273 are dead. This is because relatively high number. This relatively high number is because high positivity rate in the country of destination. And why the number of death cases of our Indonesian national in Saudi Arabia? Maybe this is because of they are having comorbid, but we have information from our embassy in Riyadh and also our consulate general in Jeddah that the Saudi government provide free access to health facilities if our Indonesian national get infected by COVID-19.
So the reports that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Indonesia has received is solely on the COVID-19 cases of death in Saudi Arabia. Are there any reports on domestic abuse and for our Indonesian workers in Saudi Arabia that we continue to receive over the course of the years, Mr. Judha?
Yeah, most of cases, as I said, mentioned earlier, that the impact of COVID-19 is not only about health issue, but also economic and labor issue. Most of cases that we receive from our migrant workers mostly is unpaid salary, the termination of contract, and overtime. Yeah. And for unpaid salary, during 2021, we can save the right of our migrant workers in terms of salary around 179 billion rupees.
Right. What about access to vaccine to our workers abroad? Is there some sort of cooperation, so synergy between Indonesian government and other governments in terms of providing vaccinations to Indonesians abroad, Mr. Judha?
Yes, that's correct, Pak Idris. So the role and the responsibility of our Indonesian mission overseas is to ensure the access of our Indonesian national to get vaccination in the country of destination. So the key to tackle this COVID-19 is to achieve herd immunity. So we observe many countries actually provide vaccination for free for all population, including our Indonesian national. But there are some challenges, of course, especially for our undocumented migrant workers, because they are sometimes afraid to come forward to get vaccination. So in this regard, our Indonesian mission in many countries cooperate with relevant health authorities to provide vaccination, especially for our undocumented migrant workers.
All right. On to other topic now, Mr. Judha. In our previous reports, we've delivered and would convey the reports from the ministry that we have 5 Indonesians currently residing in Nugraha, the capital of Tonga. And now with the eruptions of the volcano, have you received the latest updates on their whereabouts, their conditions of the Indonesians in Tonga?
Yeah, unfortunately, Pak Idris, since the eruption of the underwater volcano Hunga Tonga Hunga Apai on 15th of January, we, in this regard, our embassy in Wellington still cannot establish communication with the 5 Indonesian nationals living in Tonga. But we try our best to also coordinate with relevant parties in New Zealand, Australia, as well as Tonga to find out the condition of our Indonesian national there.
Well, we sure hope that...
We hope for the best that they are still in good condition.
Indeed, we sure hope for good reports and good news coming from Tonga on our fellow Indonesians there. And our final question to you, Mr. Judha, is what's the Indonesian policy in regards for the efforts of diplomacy in the protections of Indonesians in other countries for the year 2022?
Yeah. Minister Retno Marsudi has highlighted the focus for the protection of Indonesian national offices during the annual press statement on early this month. So there are 3 focuses. First, acceleration of digital transformation. In this regard, we established the so-called Integrated Data Operating Center as the platform to support the Ministry of Foreign Affairs 2 digital platform. We have 2 digital platforms. First, we call it Peduli WNI portal. This is a web-based application. And the second, Safe Travel Cap. This is a web mobile application. And second, we will also integrate our Peduli WNI portal with Peduli Lindungi to provide better access for our national who want to travel overseas. And second, enhancing infrastructure and human resources. So in this regard, we established Indonesian Seafarer Corner in Busan, hopefully, to provide as a meeting point for our Indonesian seafarer. And second, we also enhance our temporary shelter in many Indonesian mission overseas. And lastly, we also provide capacity building for our diplomat with regard to the gender perspective. And third, we also promote rule of law and also international cooperation. In this regard, we promote to establish MOU on system integration with other relevant ministry. We also promote the establishment of MOU on the protection and the placement of Indonesian migrant workers. And now we try to speed up the conclusion of MOU between Malaysia, Indonesia and Malaysia. And lastly, we also try to finalize the guidelines, IMO and ILO on the abandonment of Indonesians of seafarer. So that's 3 focuses that we would like trying to do during this year, 2020.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Director of Protection for Indonesian Citizens from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Judha Nugraha. Thank you very much for your information. We appreciate you talking to us here on Focus today.
Thank you, Pak Idris. Good afternoon.